In this video, I'm going to tell you about a piece of software, AI software, a tool that you must have if you're looking to build an AI SaaS business and income stream. This one is a no-brainer. It's so powerful and for multiple reasons as well. So before I tell you what that is and talk to you about why you absolutely need this tool if you're going to build a SaaS business in 2026 and beyond, first of all, I'll say, hi, I'm Matt Webley. I make videos from my balcony here in Dubai. I've run a SaaS business for the last 8 years, or a bunch of SaaS businesses for the last 8 years. And before that, many years before that, I've run other online businesses. So I've been in business online for over 26 years, or about 26 years, sorry. Made over $23 million and counting, and mostly it's been passive and in my spare time. So just as of last year, I transitioned. We've still got human dev teams, but I've transitioned away, at least my time, into helping people build software as a service businesses using AI, which is now totally possible. So let me tell you about this tool that you absolutely must get for multiple reasons. And when I tell you about it, please don't just click off the video. You need to hear about this tool and the reasons why. It's much bigger than the initial reason. I'm going to tell you 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is going to make you go, oh, is that it? But reason number 2 and reason number 3 is going to probably blow your mind, and you're probably not going to know about this. Okay, so you need to watch this video and listen to it. This is even applicable to you if you've got any online income streams, you're trying to do anything online, maybe even offline businesses would probably, in fact, they would almost certainly benefit from this. If you're looking to make money and you're using AI to do it, then this video is going to be a game changer, because chances are you don't know about this, okay? So what is the tool? First of all, it's not ChatGPT, it's not Replit, it's not Grok or Gemini, it's actually Claude, right? But for reasons I've not gone into prior to this video, okay? So let me tell you why you need to get Claude, okay? It's not just for Claude, which is an amazing LLM. It's excellent at copywriting, way better than ChatGPT. It's on a similar par to Gemini. It's a little bit like that. Gemini is excellent at copywriting, but Claude's excellent at copywriting. So if you've got persuasion in print, which most businesses have, ads, webinars, VSLs, written content, emails, anything like that, Claude as an LLM is amazing. It's also amazing as like a business advisor, someone to bounce off, give you ideas, brainstorm with, and all that stuff. Is just really good as an LLM. You might have a preference over LLMs, but here I'm going to tell you the next couple of reasons, or the next couple of bits is going to really help you understand why you need Claude, and it's not for the fact that it's an LLM, right? And please don't click off when I tell you this next bit, because this next bit is not the magical bit. I've talked about this next bit before on other videos, but the bits after that are game changers, okay? And that's what I really want you to pay attention to. So Claude is a great LLM, which is a large language model. It writes stuff. You can talk to it about stuff. It can bounce ideas off it. And like I say, it's very good at copywriting. It's very good at certain things. But also built into Claude is something called Claude Code. Now, Claude Code is probably the worst name you could ever give Claude, because whilst it's excellent at coding, and I would say it's absolutely probably the best LLM / tool, AI tool out there for coding, I've talked about this in previous videos, but we plug it into Replit, an all-in-one thing, so you can use Claude Code within Replit, and it's a powerhouse. It's an amazing tool. So for just those reasons alone, it's worth getting a Claude subscription. The LLM is excellent, especially at writing, at copywriting, persuasion in print. ChatGPT is a bit rubbish at it. So if you're thinking, oh, I've got that covered with ChatGPT, chances are Claude's way better. You're going to need to know how to get the best from it, but it's going to be way better if you do know how to get the best of it from it. And I can tell you that with confidence, as a copywriter over 20 years, one of my main skill sets is copywriting. Claude's a great copywriter. It's also a great general purpose LLM. Claude Code is unreal. Claude Code is my go-to preference for having AI code done. But what most people don't know exists, right? So is the next bits, right? The 2 bits, I need to tell you about 2 bits. Don't click away till you've heard about them, because this is going to be a game changer for you. So Claude Code, terrible name for it, because it doesn't just do coding, okay? So we plug it into Replit, and between Replit and Claude Code, it drops your development cost to almost nothing per month. You can go from tens of thousands of dollars for a couple of devs per month to $100 or less for Replit and Claude Code, and I've talked about that in other videos, right? That's not where the magic is, although it is magic, and just for those reasons alone, it's worth the subscription price. Plugging Claude Code into Replit is an absolute game changer. It will save you a fortune. If you build a business in the AI SaaS space, it will make you a fortune. Absolute no-brainer, get it for those reasons. But what very few people know about is you can actually open Terminal on your computer. So I use Apple MacBooks, but you can open Terminal on your computer, and what you can do when you do it with Replit and Claude Code, you plug Claude Code into Replit, you can also do that with your own computer. So you can literally load Claude Code into your terminal line on your computer, and then speak in natural language to the terminal, to Claude Code in your terminal, and it will do stuff on your computer that you could never imagine. Essentially, it understands what you're saying and can do tasks in a fully autonomous fashion using AI, and it understands deeply, because Claude is very, 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 very good right now, and only going to get better. So you talk to Claude Code that's plugged into your computer, and it can do stuff on your computer. All kinds of stuff. You have to give it access to the individual thing that you want to do with it. But for example, you could have it earlier on, just as a test, just to do a demo for someone. I just used Claude Code in my terminal on my MacBook, and I said, delete the files in my downloads folder, right? And it deleted the files in my downloads folder. And I know that might sound a bit like, so what? But you could say, go to this folder on your computer, take all of the screenshots and do X with them, or take all of the files in that folder and do Y with them. Like, so essentially, it's like having a highly skilled, context-aware virtual assistant that is faster and cheaper than a virtual assistant to just do what you want it to do on your computer. And that's via Claude Code on the same subscription as you pay for having Claude as an LLM. So you've got it as an LLM, you've got it as a Claude Code to plug into Replit to drop your development costs and have high-level agentic coding, and then you can also plug it into your computer and have it do stuff on your computer. And you can only imagine what kind of stuff you can get it to do. Whatever you can imagine, there's probably some kind of way of applying Claude Code to that thing, right? But it doesn't stop there, right? Again, this is something else, and I want you to hear this before you click away. There's something called, is it Claude for Chrome? I think it's Claude for Chrome or Claude Chrome or something like that. But essentially, you can get a Chrome extension that plugs into Chrome of Claude, right? And now, for people that have used Perplexity's Comet browser, Comet, you've got an assistant in Comet, and you can get it to do stuff. So you can be on a website and you can talk to the assistant and say, do this. And the assistant in Comet will take over your browser and start clicking around and doing what you asked it to do. But I'm not saying it's a gimmick. Just when I've used it in the past, it just seems to do a little bit, but doesn't want to do a lot. Now, these things are always changing, and maybe as of right now, Comet's doing more. I love Comet. I actually use Comet as my day-to-day browser. And you can plug Claude into Comet, because Comet kind of, I don't know if it piggybacks off Google Chrome or what, but essentially, Comet and Google Chrome are very similar. So you can share your saved Chrome passwords onto Comet browser. You can install Google Chrome's extensions into Comet. So I actually use Comet as my primary browser. But the assistant in Comet, whilst it was groundbreaking when it first came out, and it's getting better all the time, what I've seen Claude Chrome or Claude for Chrome or whatever they call it do is next level. Now Claude Chrome or Claude for Chrome or whatever it's called is still classed as in beta, and you do have to watch it a little bit because it can get a little bit crazy. When you're starting to give it permissions, it could do stuff you don't want it to do. There's bad actors that could potentially do prompt injection attacks and stuff. So you have to be aware. This is not a set it and forget it thing. But having said that, just coming up with a use case in case you don't know what I'm talking about and you're like, well, what does that mean, Matt? Right? Having Claude sit in your Chrome browser means it can control websites. Now, there's some websites it doesn't have full control over. So, for example, Facebook is on one of its, I don't know if it's a prohibited list, but essentially with Facebook, if you wanted it to do something on Facebook, you've got to approve every single action. So it can do it, but it's like you're approving it constantly. It gets super annoying. It defeats the purpose of it being autonomous. So for sites like Facebook, Claude Chrome's not really going to help you out much. But for sites like, for example, Gmail or Google or most other sites, not banking sites, not crypto sites, anything where there's financial institutions and things like that, or anything where it's like heavy user-generated content like Facebook, where there's potential for prompt injection attacks via UCG, that stuff, some of those sites don't work, but a load of sites do. So like I say, Google works, Chrome works, and a whole bunch of other sites work. So let's say, imagine this use case. I train Claude on my way of writing by giving it, you can create something called a Claude skill. But I don't want to make this too complicated and Claude this, Claude that. But you could either create a Claude skill and have it learn my style of writing, or you could just in Claude itself, whatever, you could tell it, this is the style of writing I want, say, for example. And then you could have it write emails, and then you could have it schedule those emails in your autoresponder. So I use System, I've used Kajabi, I've used Teachable, I've used all kinds of different platforms in the past. But right now I'm using System for my online coaching program. So I could, if I wanted to, train Claude on the way I write by saying, here's a bunch of files of my writing. Basically copy and paste a bunch of stuff to Claude. This is how I write. And then I could say, write me 100 emails and then schedule them in System for 2-3 days apart. So essentially it would then go, Claude would go write me a bunch of emails, and then using Claude Chrome or Claude for Chrome or whatever they call it, it would take those emails it's just written and it would schedule them up and add them to my autoresponder. So that could be done 100% hands-free. It would just whir away in the background and just getting it done. So you just give it access to your, access to whatever you need. Just give it to, in this case, System. I've not tried this, by the way, but I assume you can do it with System. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. And then it would just figure it out. It would write the emails. It would load them up. So that's just one use case that I've come up with off the top of my head right now. This is a use case that I actually practiced with recently. So I have the Superhuman AI email client, right? So it sits on top of Gmail, and it just makes going through emails actually really easy, simple, fun, fast. They Grammarly just acquired Superhuman, but essentially it creates keyboard shortcuts and gives you some AI functionality to just change the way you do email. So I had like 1,000 emails in an inbox, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Superhuman helped me do it, and I actually enjoyed doing it. So Superhuman almost already makes email a lot more, I don't want to say fun because email's not fun, but it makes it a lot nicer, right? Now, what I did is on a recent experiment, I said to Claude for Chrome, so it sat on, so I've got Superhuman installed as a Chrome extension in my Comet browser, but on a Chrome browser you can do it. I've got Superhuman there. So essentially it's like having Gmail open, but it's Superhuman, right? So you could just do it with Gmail. And I said to Claude for Chrome, I said, just look through my inbox. I've got something like 200 emails in my inbox. I don't want to go through them all. It's painful. I hate admin. And even though we've got VAs and we've got support in the businesses, I don't use them for my personal stuff. So my personal business that I run here in Dubai, it's just me. And my personal email, it's just me. I don't have anybody else do it, it's just me. But it's like painful when you've got 200 emails, you don't really like doing admin, you don't really like doing emails. Like any business owner will know that's a drain. But now, potentially you don't need to hire a VA or whatever to do it and trust them and all that stuff and train them. Because what I did as a test, I said to Claude for Chrome, I said, go through my inbox, identify any that seem like spam or promotional, and let me know which ones they are, because I'm going to mark them as done, which in Superhuman is like deleting them. But it doesn't delete anything in Superhuman, it just marks it as done. So it just moves it to another folder, which is outside your inbox. So you could always get back to them. So I had it do it, and it was just sat there whirring away, and I looked, you're using the power of an LLM to do it. So a VA would screw this up more than the AI will, when the AIs are so, you know how good the LLMs are right now. So you've essentially got the power of an LLM sat there doing whatever you want it to do, either in Google Chrome or on your computer, so it can access files and folders and do stuff. You could have loads of something in a folder, you want to process them, it will do it. So whatever you can do in Claude or Claude Code, you could do on your computer, or you can do it in your browser, or you can do it within Replit. So I know to people watching this, some of this might have sounded like gobbledygook and you just thought, what are you talking about? But essentially, you can use Claude to give you superpowers, essentially creating like a AI agent for your computer or for your browser to do whatever you wanted to do. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about like super exciting use cases, but essentially what I'm going to be sharing with my one-to-one mentees, my clients that build AI SaaS businesses, is how to automate a lot more stuff using Claude Chrome really, or Claude for Chrome or whatever it's called. Game changer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my apologies, but check it out, have a look at it. Game changer. I do not say that lightly. If you guys are really interested and I get like 20 comments or something, I'm not likely to, because my videos either get 40 views or like 200 views. But if I get like 20 comments saying make a like a demo video, I will make a demo like showing you what Claude can do and how to do it on your computer and in Chrome. But I need to get interest, otherwise I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to share it with my clients. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you understand the power of this. It's next level. It's a game changer. Claude's gone from nice to have to must have for anybody building businesses online, especially an AI SaaS business. Game changer for your marketing, for your sales, for your coding. Game changer to the point whereby it's getting close to making no sense to have ChatGPT. As much as we've fell in love with ChatGPT, it's very much becoming a teenage girl's relationship advisor and stuff, you know, as opposed to a serious tool for business. So there's some thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in building an AI SaaS business, I help regular people, not that are trying to build billion-dollar businesses. That's not my game. But if you're looking to make 2K, 3K, 5K, 10K, 20K a month with your own passive, faceless, online software as a service business as a no-tech, non-technical, non-coding founder, a normal person, even if you've got no idea what you want to build, then you can book a call at the link below and I can help you with that, potentially, if we're a good fit. But yeah, there's an application. You can go click that and apply. And yeah, if we like each other, then maybe I will invite you for a spot. Thanks for watching. Hopefully get some value from this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.